Decisions, decisions, decisions.
Ah!
Hello, all you minders out there. Welcome back to the Mind of Watercolor, and welcome back to Charleston, South Carolina. Well, this beautiful day found us in this lovely little park, and I decided that this was the church that I would draw and paint today. St. Matthew's Lutheran Church, and it was actually founded in 1840, but this building wasn't built until 1872. Lovely steeple. The steeples in the churches in Charleston, there's about 4 or 5 of them, I think, are really, really tall. You can see them clear out in the harbor. This is the other church I was trying to decide on. It was to my back, and we were treated to these lovely little bell symphonies about every 30 minutes or so. But this wasn't in sunlight enough and more obscured by trees, so I decided on the other one. Just a gorgeous day, and starting out with pencil, just HB pencil. This is the finished pencil. Tried to give myself a good enough amount of detail here that I was comfortable with the stages after. I'm using a Staedtler pigment liner. It's pretty much like the Copic multi-liners or the Sakura Pigma microns. I always like to try new things, so I bought this. A little heavier than the ones I had. Now here I'm using a Tombow watercolor marker. This is something I've been wanting to try. This is a light gray Tombow watercolor marker, and I would never use this for, my regular paintings because Tombow watercolor markers are not light fast. But for journaling, I thought it might make a nice little undertone, undervalue marker. So I'm doing kind of a grisaille, if you know what that is, just some underpainting in monochromatic grayscale, and I think it's going to work really well. In fact, I really thought it did work pretty well. As I was bringing the paint just being watercolor just blends with it. Gave me some nice foundation so that I could go fairly loosely with the paint if I wanted to. And I was very suggestive with the paint. Although I know you can probably get a lot looser than I did, but still I felt more free with the paint, having the value studied down than I did otherwise. And everybody paints differently. Some of the really loose urban painters can just, with almost no sketch, they can get out there and then just start throwing paint down on the paper and, have a masterpiece. I am not as comfortable doing that. I like having my values and my line study down, and then I can feel a little more free with the paint. But I didn't do a lot of painting. I just kind of threw a little bit of local area color here and there, and I adjusted the colors somewhat back home when I got it back home in the studio. But the process I used on this I was much happier with, more comfortable with, than with the end that I did in the last Charleston video. And even though I didn't get extremely loose with this, I feel like it's a process that I can come to rely on and feel very at home with. Oh, and by the way, I'm using a Pentel Aquash to paint with this time instead of a regular brush and water bucket. So my water's self-contained. And once again, thanks to my lovely and amazing wife, Rita, for just doing a wonderful job on the cinematography. She really took my mind off of all that, and I could just focus on painting. Thanks, hon. Just an amazingly gorgeous day. Temperatures in the upper 50s, low 60s. Couldn't ask for better painting weather. This is where I left it in the field, and it's mostly done. And when we get home, I'm going to mess with it just a tiny bit more. Well, here's the finished journal painting, and I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't do much to it once I got it home. I adjusted a few values in the building, and I kind of tried to get this salmon color of the, facade a little closer. It was a kind of really neat salmon color. Other than that, I did tweak a few of the shadows. Now here's the ink liner I was using, this Staedtler pigment liner, a 0.3. I didn't bring one this heavy with me, which is why I bought it and used it. And this is the Tombow marker I used for the gray undertoning. It's just their lightest gray. I think it's their lightest gray, cool gray. And it's got a nice little kind of flexible brush tip and then the drawing end, but I didn't really use this end. I used the brush end. And that's a technique I'm going to try more in the future, of doing the undertoning in the journal and then paint over the top of that. The fact that these aren't light fast shouldn't really matter much in a journal. Thanks everyone. Glad you could come along with me on that little adventure. Hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. If you did, just give me a good old thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you want to see more of this kind of content, then subscribe. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. You really are encouraging me. You're really getting me excited about building this channel, and you're making it happen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've got at least a couple more videos coming with Charleston related stuff, because I took some reference pictures. I've got some neat little detailed journal entries I did, and an ink and wash technique. Hopefully that video will be coming soon, so look forward to those. Anyway, till next time, we'll see you later.